What's good, y'all, and welcome to my review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2022 rebootquel of Texas Chainsaw. Like most of these rebootquels, it acts like it's like a continuation of the first one, acts like the rest of them aren't canon. So, this is a movie that I really did not have much anticipation or fanfare with, because there wasn't too much build. It's Texas Chainsaw. The sequels don't really have the best track record on it. You guys know that I love the original, I love the remake to the original, and I love the prequel to the remake, which which I thought to the prequel, the remake is probably my favorite Texas Chainsaw movie ever. I love the 2003 remake, man. Seriously, it's such an amazing remake, man. Well, definitely one of the best horror remakes out there. But anyway, I enjoy Texas Chainsaw. I love the movies, but I still have yet to see any of the sequels. I haven't seen 2 or 3 or the other ones. I did kind of watch Leatherface because my dad rented it from Redbox like a little while, like years ago, whenever that came out on Blu-ray. But I fell asleep midway through it because it was really late. So I honestly don't. So I don't really count that one. So really, I've only just seen the original when it comes to the original Texas Chainsaw movie. So because of that, and because there wasn't really that much fanfare to this, there wasn't much hype built up. It was just like, oh hey, it's in here. Here's some screenshots. Here's a trailer, and then boom, it released. I did not have high hopes for this movie. I thought, probably a good, entertaining slasher movie, but nothing that will knock my socks off. Nothing that will wow me. Nothing that will, completely shock me. But I gotta say, this movie fucking slaps. This movie slaps. I was so shocked to find out how amazing this movie is. I actually would dare say I like this more than Scream 5. I dare say that, man. I love this movie, man. This movie is way better than it has any real right to be. And if you guys are a fan of the Texas Chainsaw movies and you guys got Netflix, I definitely recommend you guys check this movie out. But without further ado, man, let's just jump right in, man. So, the movie is directed by David Blue Garcia and stars Mark Burnham, Elsie Fisher, Owen Fournier, oh no, I'm not Irish, Neil Hudson, and many more. And the plot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: influencers looking to breathe new life into a Texas ghost town encounter Leatherface, the legendary killer who wears a mask of human skin. So, first thing I gotta praise is the kills. The fucking kills, man. The kills in this movie are amazing. Probably some of the best kills out of any recent slash movie I have seen, man. Bro, they are so graphic. This movie shows you why Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the OG. Is the reason why the slasher genre is even a thing. Because you guys have seen the original. You guys know how graphic and disturbing the original one is. This movie keeps after. These are some of the most graphic kills and the most graphic kills I've ever seen in a recent horror movie. Bro, the practical effects work here, man, is spectacular. And shout outs to the makeup artists who are working on the guts and the skin and the blood and everything, because it looked so good, man. It looked so real. I was cringing at some of these. I was like, oh, bro, the kills. These kills, man, they don't miss, man. The kills of this movie do not miss. I love the kills of this movie. They're so graphic and like I said, some of the best I've seen in any recent slash movie. So good, seriously. Shout out to the makeup department and the effects guys. They did an amazing job. Shout outs to them. So that I gotta say. Another thing I gotta say that was also probably the most shocking part of this movie is the overall directing and the cinematography. The directing I thought was really good. With the overall scene blocking and everything, I thought looked really, really good. But the cinematography in this movie. I have to say, this is probably one of the best, if not the best looking slasher movie in recent memory. The cinematography has no business being this good, man. This movie is unironically beautiful to look at. Beautiful in context because this is a Texas Chainsaw movie and there's gore and everything, but the cinematography in this movie is really fucking good, man. Bro, it is actually really, really good. I was shocked that out of all the recent slash movies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre would end up having the best cinematography because, if you guys remember the original one, it was very, low budget, grimy, dirty, grounded documentarian sort of style, man. And you were just disgusted looking at it, man. And it's kind of crazy that now, like all these years later, this movie ends up having like it looks so fucking good, man. Seriously, shout out to the cinematographer, man. The cinematography in this movie is fantastic, man. There were so many amazing and gorgeous shots. I'm like, bro, why this movie look so good? Why this movie looks so good, man? This movie has no business being this good, man. Now, overall, I thought the cast was overall really good. I thought the performances were overall really good. Olinda Fourier, I don't know how you pronounce her last name, Sally. I thought she was really good. I thought Elsa Fisher, Elsie, or how do you say her name? Fisher was really good. The rest of the cast I thought was pretty solid, all around. And I love the like redesigned mask Leatherface now uses for this movie. I thought that looked really good once again. Major shout outs to the makeups and practical effects guys. Like to say, it looked amazing, man. And like I already mentioned the kills, man. So they were like yo, these kills, man. Like I said, I've already mentioned this before, but bro, these kills, this movie, they built different, man. But I thought that was really good. And another thing that I loved about the movie, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys already know this because this is what I tweeted out after I finished the movie and I did my little review thing. I love the fact that this movie never gets on its high horse and acts like it's holier than thou. Because there were a bunch of scenes in the first half of the movie, really only there, because this is only really the first half, where the movie could get on its high horse, act like it's holier than thou, and be like, oh yes, this, and give some preachy bullshit SJW message like Black Christmas 2019. But you guys know how much I fucking despise that movie. Y'all know how much I despised Last Christmas 2019 and thought it was a massive slap in the face, the original movie, and just an overall just shit movie in general. Probably the worst movie I've ever seen, honestly, is Black Christmas 2019. In fact, I would almost dare say that this movie is like the anti-SJW horror movie, man. Because you had Black Christmas 2019, which, like I said, you guys know I despise it. That was like the SJW feminist horror movie, whatever you want to call it. But it was shit. It was terrible and I hate it. Then you had Promising Young Woman, which was like the feminist horror movie done right, what Black Christmas should have been there. That was definitely more of like a quote unquote feminist horror movie, but it was actually like a really, really great and fantastic horror movie in and of itself, man. Then you had Scream 5, which tackled toxic fandoms. And now with this one, like I said, this is like the anti-SJW horror film. Because most of the characters are definitely of that type. Like Melody, for example, I hated her when we first got introduced to her. I hate this woman because she like checks off all the boxes. She's like the most stereotypical SJW ever. She's clearly spends way too much time on Twitter. She's a complete bitch to everybody she meets, and she gets offended for other people. So as soon as she got introduced, I hate her. I was like begging Leatherface, like please kill this bitch. I desperately wanted her to die. She was like the one character I was actively cheering for Leatherface to kill, man. But I will say that I liked how the movie, she definitely does grow as the movie progresses, and definitely, I liked how she definitely isn't just a complete bitch throughout the entire movie, and we do see, she's like, oh shit, I fucked up. Which I won't get into why I say that because of spoilers and everything, but I did like what they did with her character, and I will say she definitely became more tolerable as the movie progressed. But I will say that what does happen to her was very satisfying, extremely satisfying. And I will say the woman that played her, Sarah Yarkin, her performance I thought was fantastic as well, man. Ironically, I hated her, but the actress that was playing her gave a fantastic performance. I will say that much. But like, of course, there's also this one scene that was obviously in the trailers where you had like when Leatherface gets on the bus, everyone gets their phones out, like, oh yeah, you do anything, you'll get canceled, bro. And then Leatherface just massacres everybody on this bus. And yo, they get pretty creative with the kills too. And like I said, there's graphic as hell. Like the cinematography here also was especially fantastic. Like you have this one scene where like the window is covered in blood. You see like everybody's like handprints, like trying to break the glass, man. It looked absolutely amazing. But yeah, it seems like that. You also have other characters that if this was like Black Christmas 2019, they'd be like the most stereotypical racist because this is Texas and everything. And I liked the movie just kind of just like the biggest fuck you to that, and it wasn't just fuck you SJW culture and like cancel culture. And they just massacres it with the chainsaw, man, and then pisses on the ashes, man. I like that, and I think that really worked. And I think that's something that really could have only really worked with Texas Chainsaw, just given its history and everything, because it does take place in Texas. Because, like, if they try to do this with, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, or Friday the 13th, or Halloween, or Scream for that matter, which kind of Scream kind of dealt a little bit with that, with the toxic fandoms in Scream 5, and I thought that was pretty well handled. It probably wouldn't really work, but I think because it's Texas Chainsaw, this is like the only really of the main slasher that this kind of thing, that this sort of movie could have really, well, this kind of movie could have worked, and I thought it was really good. And it was just nice to just watch a horror movie that was like that, man. It was just nice to watch a slime movie that's like, yeah, fuck him. Yeah, man, like, bro, I was cheering so hard for Leatherface and everything was killing those guys. I was like, yeah, fuck him up, fuck him up. But yo. I also gotta say, another thing I loved about the bus scene was if you actually pay attention to, like, the messages that are appearing on, like, the Instagram live, live chat, you can add the messages in that people are chatting, or like that are like that are staying in the chat, are just like fucking hilarious if you actually pay attention to them, because you have one of them saying, "You blew me off for this," and they're like, "Oh, this is so fake." Or like, I've seen more Ted's haunted houses, 4 out of 10. Like, if you actually pay attention to them, they were like really fun. So seriously, whoever came up with those, shout out to them, man. That was pretty funny, man. So yeah, I really like this movie. Just got served as like the anti-SJW horror. And I thought that was something that was desperately needed, man. Especially after Black Christmas 2019. It was nice to see something that was like, it was nice to get that, man. Just something that I could just, yeah. That was pretty cool, man. I really liked that. I really liked the movie went in that direction. Because, like I said, there were a bunch of scenes where they could have turned into Black Christmas 2019, and I'm so glad they did it, man. And then and the whole movie just ended up just being the biggest fuck you to that shit, man. Love it. Also, one thing I also gotta say I love that they even throw in a little Shining reference in there in the movie, which I had a big smile face because you guys all love The Shining, and I love how the movie calls back to the original with a particular scene. I don't want to spoil what it is, but if you guys have seen the movie and you've seen the original, you guys know what I'm talking about, and I thought that was pretty cool. That was nice to see. I like the little references and like Easter eggs they threw into the movie. Now in terms of like flaws I said I would have with, there's really only thing. This is kind of like a minor spoiler, so if you guys don't want any spoilers, leave now. But with Leah's character, we find out that she is actually the survivor of a school shooting, which was jarring to see when that was actually introduced. This is like I said, with her character and how the first half of the movie deals a lot with like anti-gun thing, and you of course you had Melody being like, "Oh, why does this guy carry a gun?" Never mind, we're in fucking Texas. As in said Miss Congeniality, everybody owns it. This is Texas. Everybody has a gun. My florist has a gun. Everyone has a gun in Texas. It's fucking Texas. I'm pretty sure my uncles who live in Texas own a gun. I'm pretty sure they have a gun lying there somewhere, man. But so with all that, like I said, which like I said was jarring as hell, but the movie really doesn't do anything with it, which was kind of sad. It obviously does as much with the whole school shooting thing as much as Black Christmas did with the rape thing, But which was kind of disappointing, a little sad to see, because when I saw that, I'm like, yo, because I really wish that they did because the flashbacks are just like that. They're like really quick. They're only there for a couple of seconds, and it's usually just like, Leah with her face down, trying to hide with like a pile of bodies everywhere behind her that she's trying to hide from the killers and everything. That's really all the flashbacks of the school shooting are. And I really wish they did like an extension of that, where maybe we see her maybe trying to hide from them, or maybe do gunfire. Maybe we see like some of the kills or whatever at the actual school shooting. We see people getting shot. Just something that could have added to the scene, added to the flashbacks, because I think there is a lot, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way about this as I do, but I feel there's a lot you can do with a school shooting and a character that survives a school shooting in horror. I feel there's a lot you could do with that, if obviously done right, because if you just try and make a slash movie with it, it can be very exploitative, and I get it, it's a very touchy subject and all that shit, man. I get that, which is probably why we haven't really gotten any movies that have tackled this. But I feel like if done right, there's a lot you can do with that in a horror movie. And I kind of wish Texas Chainsaw just went a little bit more with that, and we actually got to see more of the flashback, maybe see what happened a little before the shooting actually happened, and a little bit what was happening during, maybe her escaping, just something. I wish they just expanded on this flashback, because what we saw there kind of interests me, and I wish we got to see more, and I think that could have added a lot more to her character. Because like I said, none of the characters are really all that have that much. They're all very one-dimensional. You guys already mentioned. I already mentioned how much I hated Melody at the start, but she slowly became more tolerable. The movie progressed out to really Lily was like the only one of the characters that I actually kind of liked, and the one I was rooting for. And I suspected that she was probably going to be the one that would be the final girl. But yeah, like I wish they kind of just expanded on that, man. Just that would have been cool. I think that would have really helped the movie. And yeah, just one cool. Like I said, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I feel there is a lot you can do with like a school shooting in a horror movie, if done properly, obviously. But yeah, man, that's really all I gotta say when it comes to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Also, Sally is only in the movie for like 10 minutes. Literally, she only gets really introduced, and we really get to see her in like the last like 30 minutes of the movie, which is shocking to see. It's like with every time one of these big slash movies, franchises rather, get the rebucal, whatever you say, treatment. They like the legacy final girl character gets less and less screen time. Like you had Halloween 2018 where Jamie Lee Curtis was like a main factor. Then Halloween Kills her, her screen time was significantly reduced. Then in Scream 5, we only see Sydney in like the third act, and then Sally, she's only in the movie for like the last 20 minutes. I swear, next up when like Nightmare on Elm Street gets it, Nancy's gonna be in the movie in like the last 5 minutes, or something like that, man. But yeah, man. So I wish she also got a little bit more screen time. I think that would have been cool if she got a little bit more screen time rather than just being a glorified cameo, honestly. But yeah, man. That's really all I gotta say. Like I said, this movie was surprising, and I definitely would say I like this a little bit more than Scream 5. And if you guys are a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you got Netflix, definitely give this movie a shot, man. I think you'll actually end up being very pleasantly surprised by this movie, man. So overall, my final verdict for Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to be a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter for like links on the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time. She's too